This was an excellent chapter as there was a number of different things going on, but I think what impressed me most was the depth and detail in this country of life.
Toriko, gourmet number 94, Life, the country of healing.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters and one-armed gourmet hunters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and ultimately life-giving tale of Toriko. Now, our last chapter saw us with everyone departing Ice Hell. Of course, Granny Setsuno, who we all agree is just on another level of badassery, came to save them and whisk them away in her limousine jellyfish. And of course, they are on their way to the country of life, the country of healing. So hopefully Match's men can be brought back to life and restored, and obviously just the healing that needs to go on. Toriko needs a new arm. I'm not sure exactly how Match's leg is doing that was frozen that Teppei gave him. But anyway, the whole crew, as well as Zangi and his couple of dingbat cohorts, are all on their way to life. And that's how the chapter left off. And actually, this is a great chapter. It picks up right there. They're actually approaching life. And on the way there, they're just talking about some things. And really, you wind up getting some background information on Teppei himself. We find out through Match that his three guys are dying. They're pretty much dead. And Teppei explains that them being in the Arctic was the best thing that could have happened to them, because what happened is their blood actually like flash froze, as well as even their brain cells and everything like that, before it actually ran out of them from being beaten and stomped on by Barry Gammon, right? So he wound up wrapping them in these aloe bandages, which he says are about 100,000 yen, upwards of 100,000 yen per meter, per every few feet. And he goes, "No, I'll bill you later." But the whole explanation of it was because Match says, "Yeah, I never thought you'd be actually helping a gangster, right? A mafia guy." And he's like, "Listen, I don't know why not. I've arrested plenty of mafia people in the past that have gotten too rowdy, that were too crazy. But I've never had any problem with your master's people." And he refers to him as Ryu, any of Ryu's people. And Match goes, "Oh, you know the Don?" And he says, "Well, yeah." He goes, "Whenever he needs help or needs healing or what have you, he comes to see my master in life, right?" And so it's kind of cool to get that little bit of background information on them. And then, of course, to find out as well just a little bit about things that have gone on and transpired. And one of the things that really struck me was that Teppei, along with his master, were commissioned, because he says, oftentimes we don't even bother people unless we have to. We're not like on the side of good or bad. We're on the side of food, So, and then he goes on to explain that they were commissioned a while ago to actually go and capture one of the four kings. And Toriko's like, "Oh, so you guys are the ones that took down Zebra?" And I want to call him Zebra, but you guys can let me know in the comments down below, Zebra or Zebra. Honestly, it's the same pronunciations to me, and they're referring to it as an animal in here anyway. Well, not as an animal, but Zangi and crew's like, "Oh, what are they talking about? I've caught plenty of zebras before, And they're like, "I think it's a different type of zebra." So even the references in the translation are zebra and not zebra. But I remember a few people telling me that it's zebra. And anyway, I'm not going to get into it too much right now, but we'll just kind of go with whatever the popular belief is, I guess. We'll just kind of do it by committee. So let me know down below if you want it to be pronounced like the animal, or if you want it to be pronounced like some word that I've never heard of before. I don't know what the hell a zebra is. But anyway, so we do get that background obviously on that, and we realize that Teppei is, he's next level dude. He's pretty high up there, right? So as they get into the country of life and they land and everything, they're greeted by these really cool, there's a bunch of neat things. As you come into it, you just feel the ambiance, you feel the background, you feel all the design that went into it as they kind of pass under this like archway that says life, and just this beautiful like moss covered thing. And there's these healing therapeutic butterflies and all these other great things, And there's tons of detail involved in it. I'm not going to go into every little thing. Obviously, if you've read the chapter or you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I recognize it, I noticed it, and I think it's very cool. Komatsu, though, has got hot pants to make the century soup. So he's basically just like, "Dude, I got to get to the hotel, And Granny's like, "Can't it wait?" And he's like, "No, he can't, He's got all this stuff in his head right now. He's got to go and start working on making it, So what Granny says is, she goes, "Listen, I'll drop all you guys off over here." So she drops off Match and Toriko and Takimaru and of course his guys in Teppei. And she's going to take, take in the limousine jellyfish. She's going to take Komatsu to the hotel and then, meet up with them later on at some point. So then the rest of it, and it's cool because Komatsu, as he's going away, he's like, hey, don't worry, Match Takimaru, I'm going to have that century soup ready before you know it. Because Komatsu's got a good heart, man. He's just going to make it for everybody, So if he's got the key to making it, and people ain't got to fight over it anymore, he'll just keep making it for people. He's a chef, right? But anyway, we get to see over the next several pages a lot of things that I think are pretty cool, about this actual country of life, right? Toriko goes, and he's just like a little kid in a candy store. He goes and pokes into this place that looks kind of like a massage parlor, and you actually lay on these like cactuses that have like acupuncture points that wind up healing you, and better blood flow and circulation, all this other stuff. We wind up seeing these hot spring sharks, which are actually these sharks that have like this giant blowhole that pretty much just fills with hot water all the time. And then they go and they put these doctor fish in there. So when you sit in there, they got these doctor fish eat away any impurities on your body. And Zangi's ass is in there, right? And they're just attacking him like vicious piranhas. And they're like, you must be filthy, Master Zangi. And he's like, what the hell are they doing? But then we also go and they show us a series of other types of baths that you can go into. Ones that they have these things that can actually remove tumors. Ones that actually go and suck fat, like it's a weight loss one where you can actually get the fat sucked out of your sebaceous glands or through your pores over from these fish. Absolutely wonderful. Some of the things, the ones that can get rid of blood clots, So very cool. And again, a lot of just ingenious thought went into creating this whole backdrop in this whole country of life, right? And it's like this natural medicine healing type place. No chemicals, no manufactured pharmaceutical shit, all natural stuff. So very cool stuff. We wind up seeing, though, and we saw a flash of him at the beginning of the chapter, which I didn't mention, is we actually see Sunny. And Toriko actually makes mention of how he's got to tell Sunny about this place or whatever, Well, Sunny actually is there, and he's actually in like a bath, a hot tub type deal, and he comes kind of like out of it, and his hair's flowing, and he kind of whips it back and everything. And all of a sudden, they come face to face, and he's like, Toriko, Sunny, what the hell are you doing here, Sunny doesn't even notice for like 2 or 3 pages that Toriko's missing an arm, But they wind up talking to each other and finding out that Sunny is actually there because he needs to get some information on a dessert to complete his full course meal. We find out a little bit after that, after he finally notices that Toriko's missing an arm, and of course that's why he's there. And he says, you're not going to be able to get that arm back. And Teppei says, yeah, my master can heal it, And he says, well, who's your master? And he says, Yosaku. And he goes, oh, that happens to be the same guy that I'm looking for, right? So this Yosaku is somebody that he's looking for as well, because Sunny is looking to complete his full course meal, and he needs some information on a dessert from the god Acacia's full course meal, and it's called Earth, right? So I have no clue what's going on with that, just obviously something notable and worth mentioning. So as they all sit down and they're kind of talking with one another and kind of going back and forth about things, and about obviously Matches there as well to try to get his guys healed and all this other stuff. And then they mention to Takimaru, Toriko says, yeah, maybe they got that kind of cure-all, that medicine that cures any disease, for you. And Takimaru's like, yeah, that's great, Toriko, but I would lack the funds to purchase it. And Toriko's like, no, he'll just give it to you, I'm sure. Why wouldn't he, Toriko's a guy who doesn't seem like he's ever had to be concerned about like money or anything like that. So he just seems like, hey, we just, people they'll just do it just to be cool. Anyway, the chapter winds up ending, though, with us actually, we see somebody going, sir, you can't smoke in here, you can't smoke in here. And then we actually go and we get to see for the first time the cigar chomping guy over here that kind of reminds me of the Punisher, a cross between the Punisher and Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War, just with the bandana and just kind of the gruff look. He's over there, he's chomping on the cigar. And this is the Reviver Yosaku. And this guy just must be like hardcore and next level, because obviously he's one of the people that wound up taking down one of the 4 kings of this zebra. So very cool chapter, and surprisingly packed with a number of different things. It wasn't just your usual kind of bridge between this arc and next arc type of chapter. There's obviously still some things that have to be wrapped up with Ice Hell over here. They did not retrieve the century soup. However, Komatsu is certainly trying to recreate it. So that's kind of a thread that's left dangling. Toriko's missing a damn arm. Match and Takimaru are all, still pretty messed up, I believe. as well as obviously, Match's 3 guys pretty much being all but dead. So hopefully a lot of those threads will get, finished up over here between now and the actual end of the arc, and of course the beginning of the next one. But all in all, I thought it was very cool and nice to see Sunny again, because as flamboyant and kind of weird as he is, and sort of eccentric, I guess you'd say, he was a very cool character that I enjoyed very much as the Regal Mammoth arc went on, and I got to kind of see his powers and see him a little bit more and know him better. So I also hope that we wind up meeting the Zebra soon, as well as Coco. But that's where the chapter ends off. And actually, my chapter question for you, brothers and sisters, is, I guess, what are your thoughts on this character, Yosaku? A lot of times I will like to ask that when a new character is introduced, and we've kind of been alluded to him before, but never actually received his name even, or just sort of like a shadowy picture of him in the background until now. So what are your thoughts on Yosaku the Reviver? Leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next Fun Nation.
Remember to subscribe to my other channels and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well.